Hello dear students, this is Akifa here, and in today's session we'll study about trial balance. So trial balance is a very important chapter for the students of 11th standard, and it is also one of the easiest chapters wherein you can really score well if you know the basic rules about how you are supposed to solve the trial balance. Alright, so let's start with the meaning of trial balance. So what do you mean by trial balance? We have to know that trial balance, it is a statement. It is a statement that shows us the balances of the debit side as well as the credit side. And we check the balances of the ledger accounts to verify the arithmetical accuracy of posting it into the ledger accounts. Now it means that it is a statement which is prepared in order to check whether the balances of the ledger account are accurately posted or no. Okay, so it is prepared after balancing all the accounts of a ledger. That's why there are two columns in a trial balance. One is for the debit side and one is for the credit side. So debit side of the trial balance, it includes all the debit balances, and the credit side includes all the credit balances of a ledger account. So you should know that a trial balance, it gets prepared just before preparing the final accounts, which includes your balance sheet, profit and loss account and cash flow statement. Now as you all can see, there is an accounting process. Now the accounting process starts with source documents. Now what do you mean by source documents? Source documents is, you can say, a kind of a proof which justifies your transactions or which supports your transactions. Like for example, you have recorded a particular thing into your journal. So you need a certain evidence to prove that this particular thing had taken place at so and so time. So examples of source document can be your bank statements, or it could be your deposit slips, or your sales tax returns also, and so on. So these are all source documents. It means it provides an evidence that so and so transaction had taken place. Alright. Then from this source documents, what we do is we record it into the journal. Alright. Then from the journal, we prepare the ledger account. Now from the ledger account, we prepare the trial balances. Alright. And then from the trial balance, what we do is we prepare the financial statements. So this is the accounting process. It starts from source documents and it ends with financial statements. So you should know that trial balance is in between ledger and financial statements. It means you will take all your data or all your information from the ledger accounts and then prepare trial balance, and then based on the trial balance you will then prepare your financial statements. So the next topic that we'll be discussing is about the objectives of trial balance. It means why is the trial balance actually prepared. So the first one is to ascertain the arithmetical accuracy of ledger accounts. So the trial balance, it helps to ascertain, or maybe you can say it helps us to find out whether the debit and the credit side are properly recorded in the ledger or no. So if the debit and the credit balances are equal, it is said that the posting and the balancing of accounts is arithmetically correct. But students, you have to remember that however, the telling of trial balance cannot be considered as a proof of the accuracy of the books. It means that there may be situations wherein both the sides, that is the debit as well as the credit, may tally, but you can never be sure that it is arithmetically accurate or it is arithmetically right, because there are certain errors which are committed and which really go unnoticed, and because of which maybe even the debit and the credit may get tallied, but it doesn't mean that everything that was posted was accurately right. Okay, so next one is helps in locating errors. You can say locating errors or maybe identifying errors. So the error may occur at any one of the stages of accounting process. Like for example, it could be maybe at the time of totaling the subsidiary books, or maybe posting of journal entries into the ledger, or maybe while totaling the ledger balances, and so on. So here what happens is that this trial balance helps us in identifying the errors, that these errors where they have been committed. Alright. So moving on to our third objective, that is helps to prepare financial statements. You can see that trial balance assists in the preparation of financial statements. Now students, we know that a trial balance is a statement that records the debit and the credit balances of the ledger accounts. So with the help of this, we can then prepare financial statements. So you can also say that a trial balance is a connecting link between the accounting records and between the preparation of financial statements. So these are the three most important objectives of preparing a trial balance. Next, we move on to the features of trial balance. So the first one is that it is a summary of the debit and credit balances which are extracted from the various ledger accounts. Secondly, it is a summary that shows us about the debit and the credit balances. Thirdly, the main intention or motive behind preparation of trading balance is to see to it that the accounts are arithmetically accurate and it is arithmetically accurately recorded into the books of accounts. Next is that trial balance is not an account but it is a statement of accounts. And also a trial balance is prepared at the end of the year, but it can be prepared at any time. For example, it can be prepared like weekly, monthly, quarterly or even semi-annually. And the last is that it acts as a bridge or a connecting link between the books of accounts and the financial statements. So the next topic is about methods of preparing trial balance. So in total, there are three methods in which a trial balance is prepared. The first one is the total method. So in this method, the total of the debit and the credit side of the ledger is determined and it is presented separately in the trial balance. So the total of both the sides should match as the accounts are based on the double entry system. So this is what totals method is about. Secondly, the next method is balance method. So in this method, the balances of the ledger accounts are presented in the respective debit and the credit. So what is the difference between total method and balance method? In the total method, the total debit and credit of the ledger is determined. And here, the balances of ledger accounts are presented in the debit and the credit column of the trial balance. So the total of both the sides should match as the accounts are based on the double entry system. And this method of preparing trial balance is widely used because it also helps in preparation of the financial statements. And the last one is the total cum balance method. So you can see that it is a blend or a mixture of the total method and the balance method. This method in total has 4 columns. So the first 2 columns are to write the total of the debit and the credit of the various accounts, and the remaining 2 columns are to write the debit and the credit balance of these accounts. Okay, so in this method it is considered to be very time consuming, and therefore it is one of the reasons why this method is not widely used. So the method that is widely used is the balance method. Okay. So students, in this video, what we studied is, we started with studying the meaning of trial balance, the concept of trial balance. Then we understood the accounting process. That is, it starts with the source document and ends with financial statements. Then we also studied about the 3 most important objectives of trial balance. After that, we studied the features of trial balance. And at the end, we discussed about the methods of preparing trial balance. So this is all for today's session. So in this session, I have covered all the theory that is required for you all to understand and to solve the further problems. Now in my next session, I will be discussing about the types of errors in trial balance. So that video will also be based on theory, and after that we'll start solving with our problems. So I hope now the concept of trial balance is very clear to all of you. If there is any confusion or any queries, then please ask me in the comment section. Also, if you all liked my explanation, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.